All right, let's talk about quercetin. You've probably heard the name kicked around, but what does it actually do? Today, we're going to cut through all the hype and give you a really simple, clear explanation of how this thing works. So let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. Let's get the most important thing out of the way, right now. Quercetin does not cure cancer. It's so important to start there because what it actually does is frankly way more interesting and a whole lot more subtle than some miracle claim.
So if it's not some magic bullet, what's the big deal? Well, it's all about changing the environment, the neighborhood, if you will, inside your body. And as we're about to see, things like cancer are incredibly dependent on the environment they find themselves in.
The best way to get your head around this is to think of your body as a garden. Your internal health, that's the soil. Now, if you have healthy, well-tended soil, you're going to grow beautiful flowers, strong plants. But what happens to damaged soil? That's where the weeds take over. And disease? It's a lot like those weeds.
This lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you have the kind of internal environment where disease just loves to set up shop. It's inflamed, stressed, toxic, and just chaotic. But on the other side, you have a healthy body. It's calm, it's balanced, clean, and orderly. Quercetin's whole job is to help nudge your internal soil from that damaged state over to the healthy one. And you know, this isn't some new, fancy compound cooked up in a lab. Quercetin is totally natural. It's found in everyday foods. We're talking apples, onions, berries. Plants actually make it to protect themselves. It's been a part of traditional diets forever, which kind of makes you think about how much our own diets have changed, right?
So how exactly does it clean the soil? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how quercetin actually works its magic inside the body. It has a few key jobs that all work together to create a healthier place for your cells to live. First up is inflammation. We hear this word thrown around all the time, but what is it really? You know when you get a cut and it gets all red and swollen and irritated? That's inflammation. And it turns out cancer just loves that kind of environment.
Here's a great way to think about it. Chronic inflammation is like a low-grade fire just smoldering away in your body's tissues. Quercetin comes in and acts like a gentle fire extinguisher. It's not trying to shut the whole system down. It's just helping to turn down the heat on that fire, calming the tissues and making it a much less friendly place for unhealthy cells. Okay, next up, energy. Every single cell needs it to survive. But, and this is a huge but, not all cells get their energy in the same way. There is a massive difference between how a normal, healthy cell powers up and how a cancer cell does it.
And the difference is just striking. A normal cell is like a bicycle. It makes energy cleanly, efficiently, and sustainably. A cancer cell, it's like a stolen motorbike. It's fast, reckless, and it uses this really dirty, inefficient shortcut for fuel. What quercetin does is pretty cool. It interferes with that shortcut. It makes it harder for that unstable cell to get the cheap, dirty energy it needs to grow so wildly.
So that brings up another key question. What about growth? Healthy cells have all these built-in signals that tell them when to grow, when to stop, and when to repair themselves. Cancer cells, well, they basically just ignore all the stop signs. Imagine a classroom where the teacher is left. It's just total chaos, right? That's kind of like uncontrolled cell growth. Quercetin acts like the calm, respected teacher who walks into the room. It doesn't punish or attack the cells. It just helps reactivate those pause and check your self signals, gently restoring order and slowing things down.
All right, finally, let's tackle oxidative stress. It's another one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot. So what on earth is it?
The simplest way to think about it is rust. Yep, rust. Oxidative stress is basically cellular rust, and it creates this damaged kind of smoky environment where unhealthy cells can really take hold. Quercetin is an antioxidant, which means it helps clean up that rust, creating a much cleaner, healthier place for your good cells to do their job.
Okay, so we've seen how quercetin acts like a fire extinguisher, a bit of a traffic cop, and a rust cleaner. Now let's put all those pieces together and see how these roles combine to support the body's overall health. When you look at all its actions together, a really clear picture starts to emerge. See, quercetin doesn't really attack anything directly. Instead, it supports the entire system. It lowers inflammation, it helps with energy balance, it reduces that oxidative rust, and it helps the immune system stay aware. The bottom line, the thing that ties it all together, is this. It improves the terrain.
And this is the fundamental shift in thinking. The goal isn't to wage some war on disease. It's to cultivate health. By helping restore order to your body's internal environment, you make it a place where good cells can thrive, and bad cells just, well, they struggle to even survive.
This brings us to probably the most important takeaway of all. How should we think about using quercetin in our own lives? Because it's absolutely not about finding some magic pill.
The truth is, quercetin is a team player. It's most effective when it's part of a much bigger picture. It works best when you get it from whole foods, when it's combined with a healthy lifestyle that manages stress and prioritizes good nutrition. Think of it as a key player on a whole team that's dedicated to correcting your body's terrain, not some solo superstar.
So if you remember just one thing today, let it be this simple idea. Quercetin helps to clean and calm your internal garden. It creates an environment where unhealthy cells just don't really want to live anymore, while at the same time, your healthy cells get the support they need to grow stronger. And that is a pretty powerful idea. It kind of makes you wonder what part of your own terrain could use a little more attention.